Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're getting back on the Kawasaki F7. We're going to start some repairs. I've been cleaning up and getting things ready. So there's a couple items I need to fix. I still don't have the frame. It's cleaned up, but it's not sandblasted yet. So I'll have to get that done and get all that stuff painted. I've got all the black parts sandblasted for the most part. There's a few exceptions, and I just need to start on some repairs of those parts. I've got spokes ordered from Buchanan's. Should be in this week. I'm going to tear down the wheels. I've got rims. I think the front one I can reuse. I don't have the tire off yet, so as soon as I get that off and see, I may be able to reuse that rim, but it just needs the new spokes. I haven't even tried to take them apart yet, so we've got that we're going to get into. But let me kind of take you around and show you what I'm working on and what I'm waiting on, and then we'll get into the repair. Okay, I've got the rims down here. The rear rim I don't think is gonna clean up, so I've got some. This is pretty heavy rust right down here, and it's got one spoke missing right there, but I'll have to get this off and just do a little more evaluation on it. This one I think for the most part is okay. I think it'll clean up whatever surface rust might be on it. I think it'll clean up in the rust bath. So that's kind of that. I do have two rims here just in case I need them. Of course they are Yamaha rims, but same thing, same size, everything. So I've got a 19 and a 18. See, I believe the 19 is a 160 and the 18 is a 185. They're the same as that came on it. And I've got all this stuff sandblasted and cleaned up. And we'll be getting this stuff painted and getting the bearings back on it. We did a video already on the bearings, fitting those, but as of today, here's the frame down here. I've had it through the car wash. Everything's pretty clean on it, but I need to get it out when the weather straightens up, and we'll sandblast it, and then we'll get all this stuff painted up. And what I'm going to do today is repair on this battery box. If you remember right, it looked like somebody had cut it right here with a saw and started down right here too. And I don't know, I've got a feeling that the battery probably froze and they couldn't get it out of there, so they did that. But see, it's missing the strap ear on this side, and this is so sharp from the battery acid just eating away at it. So I think the best thing to do on this is to just remove this piece altogether and build a new one. And I'll have to build, I can probably take this strap clamp off and attach to the other one, to the new one. But this one I'll have to build this one strap clamp for this side. And kind of the way to do this, if you'll notice down inside here, these are spot welds, and we're going to drill those out and take this piece out. They're in the bottom too, you can see down here. So we'll just punch those right in the center, and then we'll drill them out the best that we can. On this side here, I won't be able to drill that piece out. I'll have to drill it through here, and then I'll come back in and weld these holes back up. Then when I get the new box made, we'll put it back over here and try to spot weld as much as that as we can, just like they did from the factory. There may be a spot or two where I have to get in there and just tack it with a MIG welder or something, but I think for the most part I'll be able to get most of the spot welds replaced in there. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to start by center punching all these spot welds and trying to drill them out. And this, I'm just going to try to center this up the best I can on the spot welds that are there. And you can see we're just trying to get them center punched in there so we can drill those out. I think you can see in there where it's doing that. Okay, they actually do make a spot weld cutter. This is what it looks like. These are a little short and a little big for what I'm doing. I'm drilling most everything out with 5/16, starting with a smaller bit and then working its way up. But these, you don't want to go plumb through. It really doesn't matter on these because I've got to weld these back up. I just can't get in from this side to drill them. The ones in the bottom, I was able to drill down to, and those, of course, do not go through. So I'll be able to re-spot weld those pretty much right back to this main heavier piece here. So I've got them all drilled out, I think, except for one right here. I think it's loose enough I probably don't need to drill it. That's my hope anyway. So the next thing we need to do is we need to start getting a chisel and trying to separate that. Okay, don't know how much this I'm going to be able to show you, but start with a good sharp chisel and just start trying to cut down between the two pieces. And the idea is that since we've cut the spot weld, it should make it easier. And that one, of course, probably isn't quite cut enough. See, although it's bending, I'm hoping to be able to cut it all the way through and then be able to bend this back so I can pattern my new piece after it. Okay. Oops. I'm going to go at it from the angle here a little bit. You can use an air driver too, but I think with this smaller thing, I think it would just rattle it right out of the vise. Probably going to have to re-drill or drill a little deeper on the holes. But you see the idea. Okay, we've got this side separated here. So now I'm going to come underneath and try to separate it here. It's just a slow go. There we go. So that one's completely open. Now I'll just turn this around and try to do the same thing with this edge over here. That's just about got it. There we go. So there's the piece that we need to make new. And then we can just get in here and kind of sand it and trim it up. So you can see we were able to get most of the rust out. I'll work on this just a little bit more. And now what we'll do is we'll come back in and weld up these holes. And I'll probably tack these up a little bit too, just to bring them back up to the surface and grind them back down. And then we'll start working on our new piece. Okay, in this instance, I think the best thing to do is to try to flatten this piece out. We know what size battery has to go in there, and I have one, so I know I'll have to try to get it to fit as we go along. You know, make sure that the bends and everything are proper. But see, you can bend all this stuff out and basically trace the old one and make the new one. And what I'll do is I'll take a hammer and go around and kind of flatten it out. Now, one thing you need to remember is on this end, this was all that was left. So this is actually like this. So you've got to compensate and plan for that edge there to wrap around, because it's also going to be welded, spot welded in. So then you can just take this piece that you got, and we'll flatten it back out. You can still see about where it needs to be bent. And we'll, like I say, I think I can take this one off and reuse it because it looks okay, but we'll have to build another one, fabricate one from a piece of metal, just like it, and try to make it look the same. And then, like I say, we'll just take a piece of steel, pretty much trace this. Okay, got a little piece of metal here, and first thing I'm going to do is just put a little dicum on it so I can see where I'm. You know, you could do this with some spray paint, I suppose, or a magic marker with a big chisel point. Anything you can do to, just so you can get you some lines drawn and make it work for you. They even make this dicum in a spray. That would probably work better in this situation, but this is what I got, so this is what I'm using. And if it's a little streaky, it doesn't matter. You'll still be able to see what you're doing. This is the strap clamp that we're coming up with here. And give it just a little bit of a 90-degree bend here on the end of it, just so the strap will have something to, and we'll have to modify that. And back over to the vise, we'll just try to get that to bend just a little bit more. Okay, and then I think to get it just about right, we'll put this scribe in there. Try to hold it. And that should give us our strap room. Okay, there's our new bracket. I see this is a little more than I need probably, but I'd rather have a little bit longer and cut it off. But this is the piece that was already sawed off. And we just kind of had to take a wag at it and get it to you know, the way we thought it should look. So everything's good there. Here's our new straps. This one here will go there. I need to cut them off just a little bit, but those should work just fine. So now all we've got to do is start bending this and then weld it in. Okay, I've kind of got this marked. I just marked here and here where we're going to bend this piece over, and then here to here and here to here. We've got 4 bends here. Probably not going to be able to do all those in the brake. Probably have to do some of them pretty much freehand. But I think what I'll do, boy, we got some thunder. Got a nice rainstorm coming in, I think. We don't normally get too much thunder around here, so that's dogs are a little upset by it. So I think I'm gonna bend these two over because they're gonna go this way, and then these are gonna go more this way. So if I can get those in first, I think I'll have better luck getting most of these. May not be able to get them all. Let's get over there and try it. Okay. Try to bend these 2 tabs at the same time. Seems like this ends a little bit. There we go. All right, now let's see what that does. Okay, so there's our 2 mounting tabs. Yep, these would have been up like that. You can see here where they curled that way, so that should be correct. And then these should all be inside bins. Okay. Let's see if we can do it without screwing it up. Good Lord, I was off a little bit. I wonder what. Let me redo that one. All right, see if I can get a little better. Closer. Oh boy. I don't know. We'll see here. Okay, next one is going to be right in there. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get that one or not. Maybe. I can't get the whole bin because of the other piece there. So I'll have to finish that one by hand. At least I got pretty close to the right mark. And I don't know how much of this one I'm going to be able to get because this is kind of in the way. Let's pull that up. And probably going to have to kind of assemble the box and bend all that stuff separate. Okay, one last one. Oh, howdy. All right, I think, let's see. Okay, we've got all our bins, I think. Now if they're just right. So we'll take this back over to the bench. Oh, it's supposed to be rain. Turn into snow tonight. And look at that, it's all sleet. Kind of soft sleet. Man. That's some pretty rough weather out there. It was supposed to just be a little bit of rain and then turn to snow tonight, but that all, what I showed you there, the accumulation happened in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so this piece here, I believe it's like this. So these two feet are going to set right here, and then this one's going to weld here, and then it's going to come on around. So we'll see if we can kind of finish up the the bends a little bit. And the one thing that we have to make sure of is that we can still get a battery in it. And it looks like we probably can. So that's so far so good. It's just going to take some tweaking. Looks like this side over here, yeah, see I missed this one just a little bit. It's going to be a little tight, so I need to straighten this one out and go back and see if I can get this out a little bit further. Okay, this is where we're going to need to do a little hammer and dolly work and get our dolly back there. Just kind of go at this slow. Just to kind of flatten out some of the not so flat areas. So let's see. Go about like that. All right, we're good to go, I think. So all I got to do is do some tweaking here, and then we'll get ready to attach it. I think I'm going to have to put, this one is pretty close. See, it's for the cable, but it's going to need to be tweaked just a little bit. And evidently this one was rusted out and I couldn't see it. So I'm going to have to put one in right here so that, of course this battery may be a little different too. But we'll just kind of extend that just a little bit. That's what it's all about, just trying to make it fit, guys. Okay, looks like that's enough. Now we'll just clean these up. The battery is sitting down here on the bottom, so everything should be good there. Let's see, that will go like this. No, like that. Okay, we're just going to kind of fill up some of these drill holes a little bit. See, we've actually got holes over here, so those have got to be filled all the way through. And you just kind of, I call it the bird dauber type welding here, because you're trying to fill that hole. And if you get a solid weld, you're probably gonna blow through it. Once you get close to it being filled, then you can go ahead and weld it up. And this wasn't too big on the backside, so if you've got a hole that's all the way through, get a piece of copper tubing, flatten it, and stick it behind it when you weld, and that way it won't stick to the copper. I actually have one like that. All this is for. I just flatten copper tubing and put it on a little handle, and that way you don't blow all the way through. Now what I'll do is go ahead and take the rotary sander and go ahead and trim that down. Okay, we're not going to be able to get all of the spot welds in the bottom with the spot welder. So I'll rosette weld those. Otherwise, once we get it in there, we'll take the MIG welder and go in through the hole and fill the hole up until it comes out the other side, and that will attach it to this piece on the bottom, and then we can just sand that clean and make it look nice on the bottom. And what I've done is I've filled all the holes except for these, and I've bead blasted it. It's ready to go, I think. So we'll start by kind of getting it locked down on this front edge. Let's see. I'll go over here and grab this piece for now. Okay. That's probably going to be in my way. And let's just see. Okay, I'm going to try to spot weld this. See if I can turn this around where you can see. No, not going to do it that way. I have to move you so you can still see what's going on. All right, see if we can get one in here. Okay, there's our spot weld, and it goes all the way in through the other side. So that should be good enough now to hold this one. So I can get that up here closer to the top of that one. And there you go. Now, I think, well, I'll go ahead and get the last one in down there. I think I can go all the way down. Yeah. Okay. Now we want to make sure that we can still, we don't want to get it so tight that the battery won't go in there. And push this over and make sure I can still get the battery in. Oops, I can't because that thing is there. Let's do it from the bottom. Yep, looks good. Okay. All right, so we'll get one. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, I think so. Let me see if I can reposition that so you can see a little better. Check the battery again. Yep, I think we're good. Okay. Come on down the middle one. Should be able to get that off of there now. And we'll get the last one in on this side. Okay, I'm going to try to get both of these tabs right there in the corner with that one vice grip, and I'll start the rosette welds. Okay, we'll try to get this middle one first here. And like I say, you're just sticking the wire right down into the hole, and then you pull the trigger and you fill that. And that's what you got. We'll do the middle one on this side also. And you just fill it up and then grind it flush. do this a lot with putting body panels on cars. Old cars anyway. I don't know what they do with the new ones. Okay. So that should be fully welded in. Now all we've got to do is put our strap tabs on, and we'll be able to do that with the spot welder. Okay, we just kind of position this one, measure this one, and then measure from the bottom here, so we get it in approximately the same place, and we're more or less in the middle. Here's where the this piece here is, so I think we'll be okay right there, and it's oriented the right direction. Now this side I just measured the other side from the top, and then we'll measure this one and try to get it directly across from it. Okay, I think that's looking about right. See if we can get this one tacked in. All right, I think that'll work. Okay, here's how it fits in the frame, and looks like it's going to fit just fine. Okay, so we're got rid of the clapped out one, and we're on with the new material. All right, guys, there you have it. Went from this to that. This is spot welds here, and this is where we did the rosettes. You just grind them flush, take a trip through the bead blaster. It's hardly known that it's even there. And there you go. We're clearance on our wires, and the strap will just go right over the top. So with just a little bit of some 20 gauge steel, sheet metal, and you don't have to use a spot welder. I've got one, so I use it. I've done, before I had a spot welder, I used to do them all like this, rosettes. You just drill a hole, start your weld at the bottom. You don't drill through the this piece here. You just drill through the top piece, and then your wire is starting on your the bottom piece, and you just bring it up and just kind of rotate it as it comes up, and it'll just fill it up, and you can't hardly even notice it. Once we get some black paint on it, I really doubt that you could tell it from a factory one. I'm sure there's some good eyes out there that'd see it, but we're not worried about those. We're just trying to do as best job we can and make it look as factory as we can without having all the acid eating up everything. So there you go. So there you have it, guys. Refreshed battery box for the F7. We've got spokes coming in probably this week sometime, showing up from Buchanan's, probably late in the week. It may be Monday, but usually they're really quick. I think I actually just saw a FedEx alert come in, so I really expect them probably, what's this, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably Thursday, maybe Friday. And we'll be getting on to that, but the first thing I got to do is get the tire machine in here, get the tires unmounted, and we'll see if we can get it apart. We're going to try to, I try to save the spokes if I can. If you need one or something like that, it's a good deal to have those, and you can clean them up and replate them and do that. But I've replated full sets before, and it's a lot of work. It's all the cleaning, the polishing, the plating, and then you got to install them. But just the cleaning and plating is probably 2 days work. So, one wheel's worth of spokes is 122 bucks for stainless steel stuff. And, what's your time worth? I mean, if you're down to, your last dollar, then yeah, you can plate them and get them done, or if you just need one or something like that. But most of the time I just go ahead and get a full set made up, and they have gone up a little bit. Of course, what hadn't? Seemed like the last set I got, even last year, was around $115. So they've gone up $5 or $6. So that's not a big deal. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.